It's still September 18th, 25. God. Last video I came out of my room. My husband Carl's like, "Who are you talking to? You really told them off." Agent John. The saying of the consequences of your actions. There's consequences. Now, the stability in the case depends on what you do next. Tens of thousands of people's lives depend on you. See, today, where on Google, you cannot attach an informant money. You can't. You can't. You can't. But if they find the informant a liar and not credible, they don't get paid. Okay? Case is fraud. It's thrown out. So the worst thing they could ever do to me is not get paid. I haven't got paid in 7 years. Do you think it matters to me? It makes a world of difference of what I could do with that money that I earned. But what happens when the case is listed fraud? Like they said, they wanted the case listed fraud. And they want every drug cartel person released because you had no right around me. You had no right opening it. You had no right surveillancing around me. And every tip you got off of anything was under fraud. So they all walk. So all those thousands of cartel will be released throughout the United States. Thousands. The Buffalo, New York, the cartels out of Michigan, California, the thousands across the United States, and the hundreds and hundreds they got out of Ohio will be put back into society, serial killers. And since it was an illegal arrest, they will sue the FBI. Where they set you up to be arrested, they're going to go after you personally to be arrested for opening fraud. Now, to nip this, you have a choice of doing the right thing. Of, my God, I had a right to open that case. I had every legal right. My informant is not a liar. She is very credible. Where she called the FBI hotline. These idiots walked in my office, confessed they were illegally monitoring her on their own, and knew she called the FBI before I talked to her after the hotline. They admitted they had sodium pentothal reports where they were drugging her and telling her to say stuff. That they were even having her beat and raped under drugs and human trafficked under drugs. That where there's even several police reports of attempt on her life from a failed attempt to break into a fallen and ranting. That it had been them trying to have her killed because some idiot called her a faker 15 years ago, and like they could take the law into their own hands and just kill someone because someone called them a baby name. Her life was in high danger, and the criminals confessed and thought they could fool me with a photoshopped of somebody else's body washing in the other room, put her head on it. And I never fell for the dirty doctor scam either. For HIPAA violations, no doctor could be in there. And when I looked up her medical records, it says, what? Medication errors, medical malpractice, and fraud. They were lying, ripping off her insurance, and documented by several doctors. And they almost killed her. She's a victim of medical malpractice and medication errors. And fraud, medical fraud. And she almost died. And it looks like it took about 9 months or more to get well. So who did they think they were fooling? A federal agent. But what did you want? Where they were getting those drugs using on them. The drug connections. You had every legal right there was a real threat of life, and the bastards confessed to you thinking they could fool you. That case you opened was legit and legal, and she wasn't lying when she called, and that there was threats and attempts on her life. The bastards confessed to me, thinking they could fool me, and I'd go along with them. They confirmed what she was saying before I even opened the case. I even said stuff and acted like them, but I made sure I said stuff on the recorded line and had it documented that I knew what was happening. Even though it looks like I'm going along with them, but that way it was documented. I already knew it was happening. My case is legal and legit, and my informant never lied, and she was very credible. And then every bit of police surveillance obtained is very legal with a court order and was warranted for a real threat of life and attempt of life for an FBI informant. And every drug dealer we got off illegal surveillance, and they will not get my case thrown out. And those people will not walk free for the crimes they committed. You will not insult my informant, nor will you obstruct justice or tamper with an FBI case. Consequences of actions, Agent John. Get a backbone. My God, get a backbone. Stand up to these bastards. Call down to the Tuscarawas courthouse. Talk to the judge over the restraining order that she didn't allow, because they were down there saying that I wasn't credible and everything was a lie and everyone's to get even with me. And they were down there lying to that judge. It's right on Google. If you call an FBI informant a liar, not credible, you're to be arrested for obstruction to justice, tampering with a witness, and tampering with evidence. And when I walked by a closed door, I had every right to do those things to her. I had right to know what I was up against. The fool that's afraid of a 51-year-old woman, fat woman in her skirt. They said it was that attorney's office and those men that work for him. And it's not funny because they're the ones telling people they're the Portage County Sheriffs. January 25th, 2019, the weird day I told you about. People in Massillon, when we went to go to AJ Tactiles to shoot, they talked about somebody from a prosecutor's office. They mentioned him again today. Was helping them get away with it. See, they said some guy in Massillon was helping them get away with crimes. What was his problem? Involving himself in crimes and helping people get away with crimes. They mentioned him today again. He could not help and aid and abet the cartel. You might want to take care of that one. And Melissa's divorce attorney thought he had to take out John's mom so that she wouldn't be able to help John during the divorce. Dave hired some guy named Pete on his own. Got the cartel involved. Make sure Dave got everything and Melissa got everything with her divorce with John. Melissa's divorce attorney had no right. See, I was walking around Walmart West Tush yesterday. They were saying the people from Portage County allows the people to drug people and for fake confessions and frame them. She uploaded it to her Facebook. That is considered pharmaceutical torture if you drug somebody for a confession. It is. It's a 20-year sentence. Nor does Portage County allow the lying. Got it? But you need to nip this. They're going after you. For where they said they were setting you up to be arrested, they're going to set you up for being arrested for fraud. Opening a fraud case. Arresting people under fraud surveillance. They had no right being around. You need to stand your ground. I had every right. Leave my informant alone. Like Officer Mark yelled at two guys, you leave my little informant alone. and this shit with his stepkids and his son. This is where people think they're entitled to harm people, entitled to steal. See, there was a scam in the FBI case that they had an attorney's office and a doctor working for them, having people listed insane or incompetent and everything signed over to them. Okay? We talked about it. I thought they were trying to scare me. It's a real scam in Ohio. Where his stepchildren from his second wife, which she probably scammed Carl when she married him. She had broke up with her husband, just divorced him 6 months, still alive. Was in all their lives, their whole life. Probably still after Carl. So this little orphan daddy bit is a con. It's a flat out lie. Mr. Blue was still very much alive and had been in their life. And where Carl was a long distance truck driver, he may have been over their house. His whole marriage could have been a scam like mine. Where Brenda was a real bad drunk when he first married her. Where Deb got up there and lied that her dad died after she was born and she never had a father. Now Carl, she was Mr. Blue, her father, was still alive. She was a 26-year-old grown woman, married with her own child, living on her own. Carl was only her mom's second husband. Lied to the courts. That's where Veronica and Lester came from. They're not immaculate conceptions. And they were teenagers and knew their father. Where they try to say, oh, Bob can't have kids because his dad kicked him in the balls. It's like I thought he was dead. Some dead guy kicked him in the balls. Oh, he beat him and they had to run and hide under a bridge. Some dead guy beat him and they had to hide under a bridge. See, they don't make sense. All they did is lie. Just like she couldn't read, but she can write perfectly. If you can write words, you can read them. Everything that woman did was a lie and a scam, and that's where her kids learned it. Where his real daughter, Audrey and Desi, Karen, you're not the problem. It was Brenda. And she put it in her kids that they were entitled to steal from my dad. And everything he had should have went to them. That's where she looked at my dad with that big trucking job, and that farm, and she wanted him. She was a gold digger, and so were their kids. I have over $60,000 worth of canceled checks, or close to thereof, of where they went through their banks and where they cashed them. The FBI and police watched them bully $6,000 out of them. 4 for Deb, and the other Veronica was at $12.13 for diet shots, and she's still fat. And $700 for a washer she never bought. And they tell everybody he's a millionaire and he's only got $6,000, and we're in debt to the oil company, negative $66,000. His son Rick, where they're inciting him, we got to do something now. She's going to take all his money. He's got millions of dollars. He's got $6,000. Where he told him a year ago in May, all the big money's gone. Because when the oil company comes in and they put oil rigs around your property, not on your property, around them, they had to put a pipeline through part of his property. So he got $160,000 and $140,000. So he had to pay $50,000 in taxes once and $40,000 on another. Then $4,000 to Louisville 1 year, and probably something else another. That's $100,000 in taxes. Get the idea. Where he said they took over $50,000 in cash, I witnessed over 6 in 2 months. So saying they got the other part is not unreasonable. And if I go through that checkbook more, I'll find more checks. $3,800, $5,000, $6,000, $3,000, $2,000, $1,000. Another $2,500 repeatedly. And I want to check the signature of Brenda, because they may have forged the checks. It's that bad. Get the idea. They robbed him blind. That's why he doesn't want them around him. That, and where he told that judge over 10 years ago, he told him not to swear at his mother and backed him in the corner, was beating him. He said he would have killed him that night. If adrenaline kicked in, he grabbed a hold of his throat and was squeezing, and it's the only thing. He started choking for air, and he walked off because he couldn't breathe. Saved his life. He said, the thought of him being mad at me, he'll kill me. He showed up on our doorstep, taunting Carl. Let me in, Dad. I want 5 minutes alone with you. Carl shit himself and kept shitting himself until he left. He was so afraid of him. He said, I was afraid he got through that door and he'd finish me off. So where they're inciting Rick that he better do something now. Nobody has to be doing anything. See, that's where none of this should be going on. None of it. No hysteria, no problem. None. He told his dad, which I know that I got him, that he's got a plan to bash us both in the back of the head. Has it set up in Youngstown for an attorney's office to have us listed incompetent. Have everything signed over to them. Over to him. And he's going to drop Carl in a nursing home out there and never seen again. They didn't know what they were going to do with me. Like an investigator showed up when they said they were going to bash them in the back of the head. They're going to kill them both. Carl's scared for his life. He goes down to that farm different times, different days, not to get caught at the same time. He said, I'm so afraid while I'm down there that someone's going to kill me. He even told his son Rick, told his daughter Audrey about their plan. Now they've went quiet. How scared am I? How scared am I? Trying to find a place for me and Carl to move out of Tuscarawas County, where that crooked judge, that Bob said, yeah, I beat him, but I was only 15. Carl's like, liar. He was way up in his 20s beating on a 60-year-old man. Almost killed him. Admitted to a judge he beat him before. Carl said, I'm scared for my life. Oh, you can be around him. It's okay. Think the problem's coming from the new marriage. It's like Audrey and Desi said, it's not you, it's them. Where they lied to that judge that Carl bought Danny a truck, he never bought him anything. They lied to him that I moved in on the day Brenda died. Huh? They lied and lied and lied. They think where Deb told people he's got millions of dollars, she's going to steal it. They're yelling, my ATM, it's walking off. Where Carl told him you only get the one big settlement, then everybody for miles around gets little checks every so often from him. The big money's gone. You took it. Had to pay for Brenda's funeral. Had to pay $5,000 for the headstone. $5,000 for false teeth. He had bought a blue truck at one time. He took it in, and they said it was so much wrong with it, wasn't worth what it would cost to pay for it. Carl's like, just take it, and he took a loss on it of what he paid for it. That's what happened to the blue truck. He turned it back in. He took a loss on it where he had bought it. There was 3 engine lights, and the gas and the brakes were all messed up too. You had to put it clear to the floor to stop it. You had to try to stop over a mile back, pushing the brake clear to the floor, and it wouldn't stop. And the same with the gas pedal. They robbed him when they took it, when he bought it, and they robbed him when he took it back. Told him, I said, I ever get my money or we get out of debt, I'll get you a good truck. You know, Carl should be living, he's going to be turning 80. Living his life in peace and happiness around the people that love him. Not fearing for his life that someone's going to steal his farm. Huh? And the imaginary millions of dollars that aren't there. He's only got $6,000 left. Hmm? Do you understand? He had to pay the taxes on that farm. He has to pay to feed that horse down there. He had to pay $1,000 almost for that Rick letting a bunch of hippies stay down there on his property, use his utilities, stole a bunch of stuff, and then almost $1,000 for a dumpster to clean up their crap. Rick didn't pay for it. Carl did. Where, oh, Dad can just pay for it. Oh, Dad can just pay for that. Well, it slowly eats away to nothing. And where Deb got $4,000, is that all? That was my wedding money. That is all. And where that Veronica got $2,000. So where he said they bullied him out of 50, I bet they did. I watched 6. Do you know last year for Christmas? Not this last year, the year before, they all demanded $1,000 each in Brenda's family. And then Deb's family demanded he buy all their electronics. They wanted new phones, new tablets. He probably put $10,000 into Christmas for 2 different years. The big money is gone. They spent it. He told them, they called him a liar. They think he's got millions. And it's the big lie theory is Audrey, his daughter, her husband Gary said, is telling a big lie and then believing him. They're out threatening somebody. The only thing he has worth money is that land. And they want it. They won't get it under threats. They won't get a dime. If none of this was happening, as time goes on, they would have got it. I'd signed off on it. That's how dumb it is. Now, because they threatened his life, not a damn dime. We're looking for someone to buy it. You give me my money, I'll get Carl out of there. I need a safe place for me and him. We're going to get back up to Stark County. You need to go down and talk to that judge over the restraining order who was down there lying on an FBI informant. They said it was that attorney's office. The men that work for him is impersonating the Portage County Sheriffs. See, today somebody mentioned a prosecutor, and I'm telling you, they said there was somebody from Maslin that was helping them out. They talked about a prosecutor was helping the cartel get away with crimes. They talked about it like he was from Maslin, interfering in an FBI case. You can check into that one. They talked about him January 25th, 2019. What is his problem? Interfering. Helping those people get away with crimes. What is he doing? Helping them get away with crimes. He's helping the cartel get away with crimes in Ohio. You need to get him. Agent John, you better be going down to the Tuscarawas courthouse. How stupid were they walking in that courthouse and confessing to people in that courthouse their crimes or what they were doing? Girls were walking around Walmart West Huss. They said in Portage County they're allowed to drug people for fake confessions and frame them. She uploaded it on Facebook. It's considered pharmaceutical torture. They're lying. They're allowed. Exactly. They're all lying. You need to man up. Get a backbone. And stand up to these people. Where you've been sitting back and letting everybody, where those 2 FBI agents from the Belden office remind you of my son Joshy? Look at all the people they hired to hurt her. We can use her for bait. I was a human being that called for help. You ought to be ashamed. I'm old enough to be your mother. I help you get thousands of cartel. The integrity of the case stands. And the integrity of the foreman that called for help. The bastards confessed they were trying to kill me. In your office, in front of other federal agents. You stand up to these people. That case stands. Thousands of lives are at risk. And then they're going to go after you. And the FBI. Compensation for arresting people under fraud. And cartel members walking. And released back into society. Serial killers. Your actions depend on if they get released or not. See, they can't do anything to me. What are they going to do? like it said on Google, the only thing that would happen is she won't get paid. I ain't got paid yet anyways. Don't affect my life either way. But it affects the case. It affects you. And where they said they were setting you up to go to jail for this? This is how. This is how. That you open a case under fraud to steal. And they're going to go after you legally. Stand up for what you opened and the integrity of everybody involved. And find out who was in that courthouse. And then correct that charge. Because like I said, it don't affect me either way. Like they said, the people that were saying they were helping out for Melissa to steal money, they found out that they can never attach the money. They were just trying to help the cartel walk free from this. None of this is funny. No, it's not. Agent John, consequences of your actions. Get a backbone. Where they're calling you a coward, you better stand up to these bastards. You leave my little informant alone. Like the police said, we always knew Karen never lied. And she can't lie to us. We have everything under police surveillance with a court order. She never lied, and we always knew it. Well, gee, they walked into an FBI office and confessed they were trying to kill me. They did all that. And that they were having me harmed. And running scams on me. They always knew I was telling the truth. And they were under surveillance. When the case opened, they got everything under police surveillance. The consequences of your actions, Agent John. Get a backbone, mister. I'm selling stuff in the car. I hope you heard me. See, I may not have it in me to hurt someone, but I don't have no problem telling somebody off. I need you. And I need you to nip the shit. And everybody stays in jail. My money would be nice. I can get Carl out of there. I want my husband to live the last of his years in a happy, loving environment. His 2 daughters that love him to death, that just want their father in their lives and enjoy him. My family that loves him. And around friends that enjoy Carl for Carl. And him living his last days and no fear. And this crazy crap threatening to kill people and kidnap them. By federal law, Rick is to be arrested. If you make a plan to kidnap somebody and try to extort money or things from them, and you have a plan of how you're going to do it, it is 20 years. Arrest him. He bragged even Audrey, the same thing. He threatened Carl. And where they mentioned the scam in 18, they are doing it in Ohio. You need to nip that too. I'm going to pull this.